Okay, so I really tried to watch Oppenheimer. I got 35 minutes in and I'm just like, no, no, no. And the reason is just I've seen enough Christopher Nolan movies that I never want to see another one. He kind of, what would you say? He betrayed me. Like, you can't let your fans down, and he let me down. He let me down with Batman by making it hyper realistic, which is stupid as hell. It's a miracle that that trilogy did well. It's all because of Heath Ledger being the Joker and dying. That's the only reason. The first Batman was awful. The second one, I've got a whole video. Christopher Nolan sucks, but the second Batman, the only good thing about it, I was like, it was just bad. After I finished The Dark Knight, I'm like, well, it was as bad as Batman Begins, except for the Joker. And I spoke to other people. They're like, yeah, the only good thing about it was the Joker. I'm sorry, you're making a superhero movie. You're not making a reality movie where it has to be realistic. Because Batman would never exist in reality. So, like, I mean, I can just predict what this movie is. Like, okay, here's what it is. They're telling the story of Oppenheimer using much creative liberties. What do you call it? Creative license. See, the thing is, I'm on to him. I know what he's doing, right? So he's going to include a romance. There's going to be a long romance, and that'll get the chicks into the theaters, right? He's making sure that everybody, he's got a checklist here. Okay, we want to get chicks to come to the theaters, so we're going to have a love story. We want to have, the guys that like Fast and the Furious, we're going to have them in here. We got to get them in here. So we're going to have some kind of intrigue. We're going to have some kind of, like, chase scene somewhere. I bet you $1 million there's a chase scene of some sort in this movie, right? So it's just like diluted, watered down, not crap, but like lowest common denominator inclusive. And I've heard he's got the music in every scene that just like drowns out everything. So you can barely even hear anybody talking. Just like this tense, like dramatic music all the time. Which is that's not filmmaking. That's just adding. What it is it's cheap. It's cheap. And then for the pseudo-intellectuals, he has like black and white scenes so that people can be like, oh look, he's not all about special effects. So in other words, everybody's happy except for actually intelligent people like myself. Where I'm just like, okay, screw this. This could be a half an hour movie. I bet you there's a half an hour movie in here. At some point I'll watch it because I guess I have to, and I'll be like, okay, that could have been 1 minute. That could have been, instead of half an hour, that could have been 1 minute. And people are saying this is one of Nolan's best movies, and maybe it is. Maybe I would love it. But I've just been burned too many times by this guy, this asshole. And I've said it before. I'll say it a million times. When you make a movie called Interstellar and you tell me that the secret of wormholes is love, okay, you screwed up. You're a jerk off. If he had an editor, they may have told him, like, okay, dude, instead of saying, the secret of wormholes is love, why don't you just say it's consciousness? Because that actually makes sense. That's a good idea. That like consciousness is a variable, like, in the universe. Like, it's a scientific thing that alters things. But no, he goes with like true love. Like, the prince kissing Snow White will get her out of a coma, and thus so will love get you through a wormhole when you're in the middle of space. Yeah, Mr. Hyper Realistic decides to say, just believe in yourself. You're running out of gas in your spaceship. Just remember to believe in yourself and you'll be fine. So you're just totally full of crap. And Cillian Murphy, he should play a cancer patient because he looks like a cancer patient. He looks like he's had chemotherapy for well, for his entire acting career. Or like a burn victim who had his face reconstructed. Like Michael Jackson, he looks like Michael Jackson or something. He's hard on my eyes. Except for his blue, the only thing going for him is his blue eyes, and I guess his acting ability. And also, I just think that like the story of Oppenheimer, it's just too important of a story for such a hack. I don't know if I'd call it Christopher Nolan a hack, but he's no Kubrick. He's not good enough to take on a subject as weighty as this. And I guess the proof is in the pudding, because like I stopped watching it at 35 minutes because there were these like love scenes and like, God, come on, man. You know, Kubrick could have done something with this, like more like Doctor Strangelove, where there's no bullshit. This guy it's already got bullshit in it. I mean, also it doesn't help the fact that like, you know, we all know we're already very depressed. What a depressing story. Like, so he gave us the bomb that helped us destroy ourselves, and that's what we're doing right now. Like, it's the most depressing possible, especially during at this point of time in history, most depressing subject matter. I mean, this guy is a far less interesting character than Albert Einstein, and I wouldn't watch an Albert Einstein movie either, because we already know plenty about him, and he did plenty more than Oppenheimer did. And is there a moral to this story that like, oh, he was corrupted, or that he felt bad about how he helped invent the nuclear bomb? Well, my heart. Wow, the world's biggest violin's playing for him, literally. Well, not literally, but metaphorically, the world's biggest violin would play for this moron who allowed us to destroy ourselves. Then the world's largest violin would be played by millions and millions of dead people that were killed by his bomb. Like, what a... And so, yeah, and I already know the moral of the story at the end. Geek, I already fed you. The moral of the story at the end is that, maybe he shouldn't have done it. I always say that art, especially like storytelling, is not about answering questions. It's about asking questions and leaving it up to the audience. But this is kind of like, we already know the answer to this question. He shouldn't have done it. So there's no question here. And even like glancing at that poster that I got here on the screen of him standing in front of a bomb with a stupid hat on and a tie, it's like, oh wait, are you trying to make him look cool? There's nothing cool about this. This should not be cool. This should not be cinematic. This should be like a really sad, a confessional of a story. It should be a very meek story. It should not have special effects. It should be like, this loser screwed the world up. And he absolutely did. Like, what did he... Look, I don't know his story, but I bet you there's nothing good about it. Like, he did nothing good. Nothing good came of this. It's a terrible... Why did this movie make money? It was a fluke. It was a total fluke. And it's because it opened at the same time as Barbie, and people were sick of superhero movies. People say it's one of his best works. Maybe it is. Maybe it is. I mean, you know what? I was critical of War and Peace because I was like, you shouldn't glamorize Napoleon when, he was just some dumbass who got a lot of people killed. But Tolstoy wrote in the introduction to War and Peace, he said he addressed that very criticism, and he said, actually, if there's anything War and Peace is showing, it's that Napoleon was just a tiny little piece of the puzzle. There were so many people, like how unimportant Napoleon was, and how many people were involved in the whole thing. So if anything, it's putting a spotlight on the fact that Napoleon was a very small part of that whole era. So I'm sure I would like it. It's just that, I mean, how many times do I have to be burned on the stove before I keep touching the oven? And Christopher Nolan, he burnt my good faith, his good graces with me, with the Reverse Bullet movie, and with the Interstellar. Wormholes are all about love. Well, okay then, that settles that. I mean, like, why don't you just have it on a blackboard? E equals MC love. the secret, the wormhole equation. Hey, Nolan, why don't you just make movies? Get the hell out of science. You don't belong here. There. I just hate this guy. I hate this guy because he's smart enough to know better than to put chase scenes and love scenes in his movies. Like, he's a sellout. He's making movies to make a lot of... And that's fine, but he's a big fan of cinema. He wants movies to be seen in the theater. Well, too bad. You know, you can't just put a love story in a chase scene when you're doing the story of, like, somebody who's dying of, like, cancer. You can't have a chase scene. And you can't have, like, special effects and it has to be seen in IMAX. Like, sorry. How about... Nolan should make an intimate movie. Get away from all that. I don't know what he thinks he's doing. I'll tell you one thing he didn't end up doing is he probably did not open any eyes to, like, the idea of, like, the danger of humans screwing with nature and abusing science. That's one thing that nobody's eyes were opened to when he made by watching this movie. And you know what? If you're gonna go cinematic, Mr. Nolan, why don't you have Oppenheimer jump on the bomb and blow up with the bomb at the end? Like, have it become Indiana Jones. I don't know. Actually, Nolan, Oppenheimer invents a reverse bullet gun, and he takes on the terrorists who are trying to take his bomb from him, the nuclear bomb. And then after the nuclear bomb goes off, he realizes that he can reverse engineer because he can reverse the bullets. And then he dresses up like Batman. And there's powerful music playing the whole time. And what else? Oh, and then he has sex. There's a sex scene. And he realizes that instead of building a bomb, he should have been investigating love. Like, why doesn't he just call this movie Science for Stupid People? Like, I'm gonna try to tell you a real story about a scientific important occasion, but I'm gonna make it so that even you're gonna be entertained, you dumb bottom level human, like, who has no education. I'll make it so that even you can enjoy it. Even you can, like, I'm gonna hold your hand, and I'm gonna give you sex scenes and chase scenes, and there's gonna be a gun, and then that way you'll learn something about history. I'm trying. That's what I'm really trying. I think that's what he's really trying to do. Is, like, I'm gonna fill it with pop crap, popular music. I'm surprised he doesn't put, like, rock songs on during his movies. In order to, I'm going to both appeal to the masses and I'm going to tell a profound story at the same time. Well, sorry, that's not possible. And I mean, I guess that's the main reason above all that I can't watch this movie, is that I already know what he's going to do. Like, I already know what he's all about. That's all it's gonna, like, I know his whole plan. I know what the movie's gonna be. There's gonna be no surprises for me, at least. I mean, if you want to appeal to somebody like me, which you probably don't want to appeal to, so I don't blame him, take all the music out. Take all of the little special effects with little particles moving around. Take all that out and just tell your story. And don't make it 3 hours long. You should be able to do it in an hour. Like, I can't imagine if you went to see Barbie and then you went to see this afterwards. I mean, Because I tried to do that. I tried to do the very same thing in my own home, and I got through Barbie. That was okay. But 35 minutes into this, I figuratively walked out of the theater. Like, forget it. Can't do it. I can't get drunk enough to get through this. I don't know what drug I could take to get through this. And this is one of those movies that I suspect was just a fluke. Because it came out at the same time as Barbie, so it latched onto Barbie. It was Barbenheimer. People were sick of superhero movies at the time. But I don't think this is going to, like, withstand the test of time. Because who wants to watch a movie about how this guy, like, helped to destroy the world and we're all screwed now? I mean, I love Robert Downey Jr., but you could have 50 Robert Downey Jr.'s. That couldn't polish this turd. There's nothing. It's like, you can't tell me. Let me think about this for a second. Okay, you can't tell me that you're making a movie about a big pile of dog crap, but then tell me that, like, okay, but I got Jack Nicholson and Robert Downey Jr., and there's lots of special effects, and there's a chase scene, and there's a love scene, and there's a love story. So you gotta watch my movie about a pile of dog crap. Like, that's I don't know. I gotta read some reviews about this, because I really don't get it. I think it was just a fluke. It was a phenomenon. And I think Christopher Nolan better up his game, because it's so predictable at this point. I mean, what's the next logical step for him? I suppose it would be to have a movie called A Guy Sitting in the Closet in the Dark for 3 hours. But there's special effects, and there's a love scene, and there's a chase scene. But it's all about how a guy sat in the closet and did nothing for 2 hours. I mean, what's fascinating about the Oppenheimer story? There's nothing fascinating about it. This douche, Oppenheimer, and correct me if I'm wrong, he piggybacked on previous scientists' work. He was not particularly brilliant or anything like that. He just took other people's theories and he made a bomb, right? He was otherwise a very uninteresting character. And, and politics got involved. And he tried to be a politician because he's an idiot. Just like Elon Musk tries to do, which is also a bad, boring story. I don't care how many, like, special effects you add to that. It sucks. And I encourage anybody who watches my video to, like, tell me why this movie is good, because I'd like to watch it. It's just that it's just so unappetizing, you know. It's like if somebody serves you a meal and it looks like crap, it smells like crap, but everybody says it's great. I'm gonna look up the IMDb rating, and I would add, like, no offense, but I guess there's no way there's not going to be offense taken. But Cillian Murphy is as ugly as Willem Dafoe. Like, these are just ugly people. I don't think they should be starring in movies. They should be like the villain or like a side character. Well, and here's a further reason for me to not want to see this movie. I just looked up the top 10 rated Christopher Nolan movies on IMDb. Number 1, The Dark Knight. Okay, not for me. No, not the number 1. Not that good of a movie. Number 2, Inception. That movie sucked. Number 3, Interstellar. Sucked. That was the reason I stopped watching Christopher Nolan movies. Number 4, Oppenheimer. Okay, so it's not even better than those 3 shitty movies. Number 5, The Prestige. That's actually my favorite of Christopher Nolan's movies. Dark Knight Rises, number 6. That's actually also my second favorite. Memento, that was a good one. Batman Begins sucked. Dunkirk, wouldn't watch it. Don't care. 10 Following? I don't even know what that is. I didn't even know. I've never even heard of that. Tenet. It's actually interesting. I get that confused with Inception. Okay, so I can't watch that, and people I've spoken to have said that like they couldn't watch it either, even though they watched it. So what's next for this asshole? He's done interstellar space travel. Now in Oppenheimer, he's done quantum physics. So what's left? What's left for this jerk? He did Batman. Okay, what's next? He should do like the Care Bear movie, right? He's trying to cover every single subject. He should do a horror movie actually, so he can be like Stanley Kubrick, because you know he wants to be like that. That would be funny. a horror movie. I bet you that's the next thing he's gonna do. I'm gonna end it at that, because there's a prediction right there. His next movie is gonna be a horror movie. And then after he does the horror movie, he's gonna try to do a comedy movie where it's just like where he makes it profound. A profound comedy, right? That'll be his next thing. Yeah, so he's gonna do a horror movie next, then a comedy. But they're both gonna be trying to be like profound and like genius level. And the way he tries to achieve genius level is by just confusing the audience and saying shit like, well, he's not the hero we need right now, but he's the one that we want. Oh, and let me just add one more piece to this disaster of a film director. My favorite example of Nolan being a moron was at the climax of The Dark Knight Returns. Batman Batman comes up to Bane, and Bane goes, "So you decided to die with your city." I'm Sean Connery. "So you decided to die with your... You came back to die with your city." And I'm like, okay, please, Batman, don't say, "No, I came back to stop you." And that's exactly what he said. And I've went through it, like how many better things would there have been to say at the climax of the movie when the villain says to you, "So you came back to die with your city." Here, I'll think of 5 right now that are better than, "No, I came to stop you." It's just so sloppy. Like, why not think about it a little bit before you just have him retort, "No, I came back to stop you." Okay, here's a response. "So you came back to die with your city." "No, I never left." Or, "So you came back to die with your city." "I am my city." There's another one. It's better than, "No, I came to stop you." Or, "So you came back to die with your city." "No, I came to bring you back to your city, that crappy little hole in the ground." Or, "So you came back to die with your city." "I've already died with my city. And now it's your turn. And then I'm gonna kick your bloody ass." Or how about this? "So you came back to die with your city." "Yeah, watch me die with my city." And then he just fights. Or like, "So you came to die with your city." No. Or, "So you came back to die with your city," and then Batman just beats the living shit out of him. Or he could even say something like, "No, I came to make you die for my city." Or like, "It's your time to die for my city." I mean, of all the times to have a lazy line where you don't really figure out how to write it, you would do it right at the most climactic part of the whole film. That's why this guy is no auteur, no great filmmaker. He doesn't take the time when it's important. You know, it would have been cool if this movie made no money, because then they could have said Oppenheimer was a bomb. But it'll always be a bomb in my eyes. And unfortunately, like, I really don't think I need to watch it, because I think I know everything that's going to happen in it. once bitten, twice shy. There's going to be no resolution. There's going to be no answers. It's just going to be a lot of, like, eye, ear, and brain candy for dumb people. I guess I'll end it there because I'm just whining a lot. So, yeah. Sorry, Nolan. Sorry, Oppenheimer. I tried to watch you. I got 35 minutes in, and it was just more of the same. And I bet there's lots of time, like back and forth in time, like present time Oppenheimer, past 20 years ago Oppenheimer. So he tries to like make it the story creative by doing time, fuck, can't stand him. Just tell a coherent story from A to B, but you're afraid to, aren't you, Christopher? Because you know that if you did that, then your story would suck. This is why I think that The Dark Knight Rises was one of his best movies, was because it actually was almost like from point A to point B. It made sense. It was linear. And The Prestige, though it has like back and forth time, whatever you want to call it, time jumps, like, I don't know, what am I trying to say? Like, we're like, flashbacks. Yeah, like flashbacks all the time. And you never know exactly where we are. It had a coherent story. But he's done none, aside from those two movies, and Memento. Memento was good. Aside from that, it's just been like pretentious. And so I'm done. And if you like this, then please subscribe, because it does encourage me to make more. And like and all of that crap, and comment, because it really does. If you want me to make more, that's what we'll do it. I'll do it anyway. I'll try to do it anyways. But I do get discouraged when I feel like nobody's watching the shit. And I'll end the video, and then you're going to hear me say it again right now. If you support gays, click like. If you respect blacks, comment. If you think women are people too, click the notification bell. And if you care about sick children, subscribe.